We're at Richmond County Bank Ballpark in St. George, Staten Island, New York, with the skipper and the manager of the Staten Island Yankees, Mario Garza. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes again.
Anytime.
Mario, you got a month under your belt. You got about 30 games. How has it been?
It's been good. You know, we're right around 500, and so getting these guys used to the grind of pro ball, and got a lot of new faces. We've gotten some guys promoted to Charleston, which has been, you know, that's the goal, and we've gotten a lot of new faces.
Do you find it extra challenging? As you said, was kind of like a little bit of a revolving door. We understand that you want to win as many games as you can, but the whole thing is development. Take them from single A and move them up.
Yes.
We've seen on the major league level, we've seen it happen. We've seen that progression quickly. So it's got to be a little bit of a challenge in that regard.
It is. You know, our number one goal is development, and that's paramount over wins and losses, although we'd like to win as much as we can. But yes, it's been really good to see some of the guys from our organization get up to the big leagues this year.
The last time we chatted, you commented on this beautiful ballpark. What a venue.
Yes, that view never gets old. I mean, it's just it's incredible seeing Manhattan, and they do a great job, the grounds crew, keeping the field ready to play. It's a beautiful playing surface, so it's an incredible place to play.
When the players come through and they see the stadium for the first time, does it make your job a little easier that they realize, hey, you know, it's big time as it is, and a chance to move up even further?
I think so, yes. I mean, there's everybody that comes in here, from players to coordinators to anybody in the Yankee organization. I mean, they talk about this place being one of the best.
The Brooklyn Cyclones do a great job also. There's a lot of energy in that ballpark too, in Coney Island. That's your rival in Brooklyn as part of their part of the New York Mets organization, and you've held your own and then some. You played some great games against them, and you're again tied for second place. So you're in a good spot, so to speak.
Yes, yes. Brooklyn's been a fun environment to play, and like you said, you know, we've enjoyed that rivalry. You know, I think they have a good team, and they've done a good job, and you know, we're like you said, we're fighting to get to the top.
You saw the All-Star game the other night, like all of us. Any extra pride to put the pinstripes on when you see the respect that was given to Derek Jeter, not only by teammates, other teams, but just MLB in general?
What a moment. I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, I've always, you know, really valued this logo and put on the pinstripes, but when you see moments like that in the All-Star game, and you know, the way they treated Mo last year and Derek this year, it's just really, really special.
Did you ever rub elbows with Derek, you know, maybe interacting with some of the younger ball players?
Yes, absolutely. Every spring before big league camp, he'd come in and take ground balls and hit in the cage, and he'd grab a young player, you know, here and there, and go take him on the field and take ground balls with him, or take BP with him, and just the way he conducts himself is the same way you see on TV. Is the same way he is at the complex. Always respectful, always energetic, and respectful of everybody.
He's once in a generation player, and
yes.
The way he goes out, he gets 2 hits. The way, really, what can you really say? The thing about Derek Jeter is the way he rises to the occasion. I mean, his regular season numbers speak for themselves. He's in rarefied air, 3,400 hits. I mean, you could imagine. But then when you think about what really separates him is the way he performs in postseason and in events like that. The bigger the stage, the better he performs. And does he ever misspeak, or does he ever kind of not say the right thing or do the right thing? It's almost, you know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody waits for him to step out of line or say the wrong thing, and it's not going to happen.
20 years later, he never will.
He's class.
That's right.
He's the ultimate class figure.
That's right. And how do you feel seeing Dellin Betances make the All-Star game? It was a player that you mentioned before the season even started. They interviewed you down in spring training. You said, watch out for this guy. You know, if he pounds the zone, he's got unhittable stuff. So
yes.
How did it make you feel to see that come to fruition as quickly as it did?
Yes. I mean, any time a player from our organization makes the big leagues, we're extremely proud, and that's, you know, that's the ultimate goal. But seeing Dellin, what he's been able to accomplish this year, we're really, really proud of him, and hopefully we'll see more of the same.
You know, and one thing about it, and it almost ties into Derek Jeter, and when you watch Dellin Betances go about his business, there's no histrionics, there's no, you know, it's nothing against the, you know, all of this
right.
stuff with the hat sideways
right.
or whatever it is,
right.
or untucking your shirt. Okay, if it works for you, that's fine, but really, the Yankee way is the Derek Jeter way, and when you look at Dellin Betances, this kid is a pro. I mean, he
yes.
really, you know, he's all business,
yes.
and you know, looks like he respects the game, and it looks like he's learned very quickly.
That's right. It's the substance that's going to keep you in the big leagues, and you know, like you said, Dellin, they show that there's a lot of substance behind him. I mean, there's no fluff. It's direct, do the job, and get off the field.
I mean, if he continues on this path, he'll make Yankee fans very proud. Just as the it's becoming apparent that the core four and more, those years are behind them. So now someone has to take the has to take the baton and run with it, and that's where you come in. Does it make it that much more exciting when you can tell your team, hey, look at these kids, look at Betances, look at a kid like Shane Green. This kid just exploded onto the scene. Did you have any experience with him on the minor league level?
With Shane, absolutely, yes. We were together in the Florida State League in Tampa, and we always knew he had an arm. I mean, he had incredible stuff. He showed flashes of unhittable slider, wipeout slider, fastball up to 96, 97. Really, we knew the future was bright for him, and it's really, really great to see him able to do it at the big league level.
Speaking of the All-Star game, the day before, they have the Futures game, and then you look at a kid like Severino.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on him? And he struck out Joey Gallo, who's probably the #1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball.
Yes, when we talk about guys like Shane Green and Severino, and it's always nice to be able to talk to our guys about, hey, these guys were in your shoes not too long ago. So, and we're seeing these guys rise up to the occasion, rise up to the levels. I mean, Severino's a guy, you got mid-90 fastball, power change, swing and miss breaking ball. I mean, you're talking about a guy with power stuff with plus command, and that's a combination that's pretty rare.
Question for you, again, it was kind of heartbreaking for all Yankee fans, Tanaka, the way he handled that, the way he apologized publicly for it. I thought of you from our last interview because, as I mentioned to our viewers, that you were a top prospect with the Houston Astro organization, and if you bat cleanup in a batting order in the minor leagues, that includes Hunter Pence and Ben Zobrist, and if you're batting cleanup, you were a top prospect. But injuries derailed you. When you look at Tanaka, I mean, it was heartbreaking for all of us.
Sure.
What were your thoughts on that and how he handled it?
Yeah, it's tough to deal with, with how good of an arm he is and how much he had performed this year. It's a big blow, but I thought it kind of showed what type of person of character he is, that he took it so personally as to apologize to the Yankees and to the fans, and I thought that meant a lot.
I think they're always there. Again, no one's going to feel bad for the Yankees with the payroll, or nobody's going to feel bad for any team when it comes to injuries because everyone is beset by them. Tommy John is it's an epidemic, this elbow surgery. But you have some young prospects, 2014 draft picks that we read about, Foley and Holder. Did you get a chance to take a look at them yet?
We've seen them. They haven't thrown too much for us, but we've seen some promising stuff there. Both Foley and Holder, extreme competitors. That's one thing that first hit me is how much they compete. I mean, these guys they mean business. They go about their job in the right way. And both of them have very good command. They pound the zone. They attack hitters. Look what you want to see as a manager.
The last time we chatted, you have a lot of interaction with catchers in the Yankee organization, and I mean that's again, that bodes well, and that paints you in a good light, because one position that the Yankees do have is they have a lot of catching talent.
Yes.
On the minor league level, and you even see on the major league level. It's nice to see Cervelli, and it's it's important, and it's super helpful for them to be able to step in and do the job the way they do, whether it's taking a game behind the plate, or if someone is injured. But you mentioned Luis Torrens back in spring training. You mentioned that you actually went to the DR and to the Dominican Republic, and you were working with him. I'm noticing that he's hitting .377 with a .411 on base percentage. He's leading the team in hitting. Speak about him for a moment, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, he's an exciting player. He, if he were from the United States, he'd be a high school senior. So that, compared to to our guys, he's very advanced for his age. He just turned 18 in May, and probably one of the most natural catch-throw guys that I've ever seen or coached. And I put him. He could throw in the big leagues right now as an 18-year-old. Wow. And he's learning. He's a converted infielder, so he's learning about some of the intricacies of catching, the receiving, the blocking, working with pitchers, working with umpires, calling games, and some of those little things that he's developing. But as far as a physical ability, I mean, he's a talent that's I think we're going to see for a while.
That's great. Ref Snyder is someone that we read about. We see, we saw him during spring training, but not a lot.
Right.
Fans watching. What can you tell us about him?
What a neat story. You know, I mean, he's a kid that grew up in California, won a national championship with Arizona, and has done nothing but perform. I mean, he's a gamer. Just one of those guys, hard-nosed players. He's also a converted outfielder, so the second base position, he had to work his tail off to get to where he is now, and I saw some of that, you know, firsthand of him just taking ground ball after ground ball and double play turn and double play feed, and he worked so hard to get where he is now. It's really special to see, you know, that he's knocking on the door.
That's terrific. And Mario, we know you have a game coming up in a couple of minutes. We want to thank you for a couple of minutes. We think that the Staten Island Yankees are in good hands with Mario Garza.
Appreciate that.
We want to thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Go Baby Bombers. Back to the studio. Thanks again, Mario.